Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill on this Friday. Tennessee heads into the weekend wearing shells for the first time. They're in shoulder pads and moving closer and closer to full pads early next week. Brent, you look at this team and some things stick out, but really for me it's the depth at linebacker. It's the depth at, I think the defensive line, even the depth at running back. It just feels like, hey, they can withstand an injury or two in a lot of places. Maybe not everywhere, but a lot of places.
At certain places they can. To me, what stood out today was just the intensity. I mean, it changes when you put on shoulder pads, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. You can see the linebackers moving closer to kind of cutting it loose. You're not just tagging off somebody. I mean, you're squaring them up with your shoulder pads. Coaching intensity ramped up a lot, as well as Eric mentioned in his observations. But you're right. I mean, Brian Jean-Marie talked about it when he visited with me. The best coaching he's got going right now is competition. And he's exactly right because of all those young guys. I mean, you got Caleb Perry and Elijah Herring, who are a little bit forgotten about.
They are. They really are.
Arian Carter and Jeremiah T-Lander and Jalen Smith. So I think when you look at it, in certain places, they have good depth, which is going to give them great competition, which will make the intensity of this fall camp more than it has been at those spots.
I look at them at running back, and they're just they've got legit 5 guys that you feel like, okay, if they needed to play, there's not a huge drop off there, and that wasn't that case a few years ago. And a couple of those freshmen, Khalifa Keith and then Cam Selden, they're low. Now again, are they going to trust them in a lot of situations? Probably not, but at the same time, they're different.
Well, they are, and the other guy who I just think is going to keep showing up a little bit is Deshaun Bishop. There's not a lot of flash there, but it's just kind of steady Eddie, if you will, guy who's always falling forward. So, they've got a lot of competition there. They've got some competition in the secondary at corner, still trying to figure out how all those pieces fit in terms of who's going to play safety, who's going to play corner and star and all that, which is what we're now getting ready to move into. As you start to play and scrimmage and have contact, now we'll start to get towards the next 4 or 5 practices, some cross training, some look at some guys at some other spots and that type of thing, which should make for some interesting storylines over the next couple of weeks.
He is Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. Tennessee returns to the practice field Saturday morning before they have an off day on Sunday. And, of course, Tennessee gets ratcheted up with full pads early next week. We'll talk to you on the General's Quarters.